My QB6 is Luke Altmyer from Illinois. The Illinois Fighting Illini, Luke Altmyer, QB6. Guy's 6'2", 210 pounds, age 23.4. 23.4, so average age in this class, fine. Record as a starter, 23-10. Pretty good. Pretty solid number. Pretty solid starting record at Illinois. This guy won back-to-back 9-win seasons for the Illinois Fighting Illini, which is quite the impressive accomplishment there. Illinois has not really had a relevant college football team in years, and Altmyer carried them. Altmyer carried an inferior team past 3 seasons there and really was their guy. So I like Altmyer more than most because this is a guy who I think we're talking about, like, maybe doesn't really possess all the tools and the physical traits, but this is a guy who won a lot of games and had very good production at the collegiate level for years on end. So you talk about guys like elevating others, winning at the highest level, solid production, and passing the bar test of, like, physical traits. Luke Altmyer passes them all for me, and that's why I'm a little bit intrigued by him compared to some other quarterbacks. QB6 is the highest I've seen him, and again, I'm not saying I think he's going to be a starter or like a high-level one at the next level, but I think he's the best backup in this draft class, if that makes sense. So, like, if I am drafting a quarterback who I want to trust, who I can trust and need to trust to not blow the game and command an NFL offense and not turn the ball over, it's Luke Altmyer, because we've seen him do that. He's most like a point guard, most like a game manager of all the guys in this class. Again, doesn't have the crazy physical traits, but has enough physical tools, has a decent enough arm, fine enough arm. And let's go over his stats. Basic passing stats, 67.4 completion percentage. Great. Fantastic stuff. Right on the money. Just over 3,000 passing yards. Love seeing that. 3,000 yards is like a mark I want to see my quarterback get to. That's getting it done. That's getting it done through the air. It's getting it done against top defenses in the Big Ten. The guy played against some of the best teams this year. Indiana, USC, Ohio State. So, like, he was fine against those games. I don't think Altmyer threw an interception till the Ohio State game, which was like week 8 or something. So, like, does not turn the ball over. 22 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions. And last year was 22 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. So he does not put the ball in Tom's way, does not turn the ball over, does not throw picks. 3,007 passing yards, averaging 8.2 yards per throw, 153.7 passer rating. Solid, very solid. Here's the part that's a little concerning, 32 sacks. Loves to extend plays, not the best athlete though, so it does take more sacks than you'd like. 32 sacks isn't great, that's kind of high, but he's not the best runner, doesn't really always escape outside the pocket, but can get up a little bit done with his legs. It's kind of on par with Klubnik. I would comp him to Klubnik in terms of athleticism and in terms of rushing ability. Probably, like, each of those guys can get you a first down if you need it, but you don't really want that to be a part of your offense. So, all right. PFF grade, 78. Solid 78 for Altmyer. You know, that's better than league average for sure, and that's would like to see that a little higher, but he put up solid advanced metrics. The PFN impact score is a little higher at 85.6. And the QBR is a little higher at 79.4. So all those are good numbers. Again, would like to see the QBR and the PFF grade be in the 80s, but he gets it done, man. And again, this is a guy who's just kind of solid all around. Adjusted completion percentage, like we said, that's kind of right on the money. The sweet spot here, 75.1. That is putting the ball on the money. That is taking what the defense gives you, and that is being extremely very accurate. So, wins above average, 0.483, one of the highest marks on this list. I think that's 4th among these quarterbacks, maybe 5th. One of the highest, yeah, 5th or I think that's 5th among quarterbacks. 0.483 wins above average. This guy was elevating Illinois. This guy was carrying them to 9 wins the past few seasons, which has not been done in quite some time. NFL Combine production score. Here's the part that's a little kind of hurt him. So not the best combine test. So 59 production score, which was 15th. So this was last among all the quarterbacks that I ranked out here. So lowest among the quarterbacks. 73 athleticism score, which was 10th. However, the total score was 64th, which also was last. So 15th among all 15 quarterbacks I'm ranking here. So I had the lowest combine score of all the quarterbacks who tested there. So not the best proxy. Again, you definitely would feel a little worried drafting that if you're an NFL team and taking a chance on him. But here's some reasons why I might take a chance on him and some strengths I would give Altmyer. It's a gritty, tough guy who does whatever it takes to win. I know that's kind of similar to what we just said about Haynes King. I can see it in this guy's podium interview. This guy is just a leader, and this guy kind of rocks, actually. It's just kind of the guy you would want to hang out with and get a beer with, which I think matters at the quarterback position. No one can tell me it doesn't matter. That stuff absolutely does matter. But no, yeah, his podium interview was great. I thought he really lit up the room. Kind of just a confident, charismatic, cool guy, tough, gritty guy. First one in, last one to leave type of guy. Hard worker, solid tools and production all around. And again, the podium interview kind of showcased how he handles the room, how he commands the room, how he leads by example, how he speaks to reporters, his overall voice, his overall presence at the podium. That stuff matters to me, even if it doesn't to other evaluators, but definitely matters in my opinion. So, solid tools and production all around, like I said, put up good numbers, good stats. Again, just raw box score stats were pretty good at Illinois on a pretty inferior team. So he carried an inferior Illinois roster for multiple seasons on end. Started 3 full seasons there and won a lot of games, like we talked about. So some of the weaknesses here, he's not going to wow you with anything physically, and he's most like a game manager. So of the 15 quarterbacks I've laid out here, Altmyer's probably most like a game manager amongst them and most like a point guard. And that's not always a bad thing. Maybe it's a minor weakness in this role, but I don't think he's going to do more with, or I don't think he's going to he's not like Josh Allen physical traits. We'll just call it what it is. Yeah, he's not like Josh Allen physical traits. In fact, another weakness I give Altmyer is he even looks smaller on the field than he's listed at. And maybe that's not his fault. Maybe that's not a weakness necessarily, but he's listed at 6'2", 210. I think he looks shorter than that even. He kind of looks like Brock Purdy out there. I think Brock Purdy's 6'1", 200. Brock's a little better athlete, a little better arm, but I would kind of comp him stylistically to Brock Purdy, size-wise. When you play smaller than you're listed at and you're making the jump to the NFL, that's not a good start, I guess, but I guess it shouldn't be the reason you don't take him. And then lastly, I just think he has a lower ceiling, higher floor type of backup or type of guy. I think he's probably the most backup from this class. And maybe that's a negative way to describe him. I think that's a positive way, in my opinion, because you can make a lot of money as a backup quarterback in the NFL. You can make millions of dollars being a backup. And you can be a star. You can be loved by fans. So it's not a bad gig. But to me, he feels like the most stick around in the league 10-year veteran backup. I could see Altmyer being a Mitch Trubisky type of guy, just kind of bounce around the league, being a solid backup, Mason Rudolph type of guy for years to come. So that's kind of just what I see. Probably a lowest ceiling of these guys, but maybe one of the highest floors. So, and I guess we'll go into my NFL projection for him now. That's why I've got a 6th round grade on him. I would take him in the 6th round. My comp for him is Jake Haener, even more so. So that's another backup good comp for him. So Jake Haener, he has a solid, probably similar arm as Jake Haener, similar size, similar athlete. So, team fits. I didn't put any team fits. Let's just go. He's from Illinois, Bears, and then maybe I don't know. Maybe if the Saints could need to add another quarterback, still they could add one in the mix. I know Haener was there a couple years ago, but yeah, I like Altmyer more than most, but I will say he feels like the most that's a backup quarterback in the NFL if I've seen one. So we'll see where he ends up. I think consensus is lower on him than I am personally. So